All right. So the defensive line, we've talked about it. That was a big time concern going into OTAs, in mini camp, training camp. We thought, look, we didn't do enough on the defensive line. We thought it needed to be addressed. And it's because of what happened last year. You know, the defensive line didn't look great last year. Now, you could say, look, Cam Heyward wasn't healthy, missed a lot of time, so the D-line wasn't supposed to look great. Okay, but then you don't address it. And that was kind of, okay, it's a little troubling. We don't really address this in the draft. What are we doing? The only draft pick we did was a 6-rounder, and he, at the end of, he was basically the 52nd, 53rd guy on the roster. It's like, what are we doing? But Cam Heyward signs back. He said he's ready to play. He said he's back at it, and he gets a new contract. You know, I was against this, giving him the new deal. 3 years, $45 million. I screamed about it all day yesterday. I didn't like what the Steelers had done. Well, then you start getting a little bit more of the financial stuff coming out. And now, I don't mind flip-flopping. It was basically the Steelers did what I called for all along, even before this. I said the Steelers can't give him any more guaranteed money. He's getting $16 million this year. First of all, I think that was too much, but he can't get any more than that. Well, he isn't. He's not getting more. You know, the $29 million in new money that they keep talking about, that's not guaranteed. So if it's not guaranteed money, and it's $16 million is all he was going to get, he was going to get that anyway. Not a bad deal. It gives the team security. Look here, it opens up some more cap space, which that's not really that big of a deal because we've got a ton of cap space that we're not even using this year. So opening it up for this year, it's not that big of a deal. And I know people are talking about, well, what about next year, Big B? Well, he was going to be off the books next year altogether. So it doesn't matter. He wasn't going to count anything next year. So, and I think Cam likes it so he's not forced to going somewhere else. And when I mean forced into going somewhere else, I mean, if Cam wants to play football, let's just say he has an okay year this year. Not great, not bad, just an okay season. But he still wants to play. The Steelers will allow him to come back. I'm sure they will, but he's going to have to take a huge pay cut. You know, he's not going to get $15 million next year at 36. They'll probably say, look, we'll keep you at 4, you know, and yes, we would love to have you back. Okay, but Cam got his money for this year, and he's not forced because if he wants to play and he didn't have a contract with the Steelers next year and the Steelers just say, nope, we don't want you here, then he's got to go somewhere else. And he didn't want to do that. I mean, he all but said, I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to be a one-helmet guy. Well, now he's going to be a one-helmet guy because I don't think there's any chance that the Steelers cut him, even if he has a bad year. Because, again, they're not giving him any guaranteed money the next 2 years. So, Cam, you come out, you play well. Yeah, you might have to take, not might, you'll definitely have to take a pay cut next year based on the salary structure. They're not going to give you that, but it is what it is. He can retire as a Steeler. I'm back on the deal. Look, they did exactly what I was calling for. I can't be a hypocrite and say, well, don't give him any more guaranteed money. Then the Steelers don't give him any more guaranteed money and then still scream. No, I can't do that. Not going to do that. So good deal all the way around for both sides. But is he the only piece? I don't think he is. Look, there were other guys that stepped up this year. Some young offensive linemen stepped up this year. Keeanu Benton, he was a monster last year. Just didn't know how to be a pro. Just didn't. Body wasn't in pro shape as a rookie. Most guys aren't. Well, it is now. He is absolute monster. He looks like a monster. I think Keeanu Benton is the key to the Steelers defense with push up the middle, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. DeMarvin Leal. I mean, look, I was a guy that thought, yeah, he might get cut at the beginning of training camp. Didn't think he was going to be that guy. Never thought the light would turn on. We've been waiting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it looks like the light turned on for this young man. He came to the Steelers as he was young, And the first couple of seasons, he wasn't even playing at the end of last year. Well, the light has turned on. It's turned on so much that when Marcus Golden retired, the Steelers didn't go out and sign a fourth outside linebacker. They said, you know what? DeMarvin Leal has done so much and is so athletic and shown us so much. He can be that extra guy if we need it. I love it. Don't you love when young guys that aren't necessarily, they don't live up to stuff early. Everybody doesn't peak at the same time, man. They just don't. And it just didn't happen for him. What looks like it is now, I absolutely love it. He's starting to look like the guy that we drafted a couple years ago in the third round. I love to see that, man. Some vets, look, Montravius Adams, we know what he is. We know what he brings to the table. Just a stud inside in the role that he plays, which is a backup nose tackle role. Can't be moved. Takes several guys to block him. Yes. Larry O. I think we can all agree Larry O had a bad year last year. He did. And I think he would admit it. Well, maybe he'll admit it. But even if he doesn't, we know he had a bad year through OTAs, minicamp, and training camp. It looks like Larry O understands I had a bad year. I'm better than this. I got to get back to what I used to be at, how I got the contract that I got. Yeah, we've seen it so far. We have seen it so far, And then Dean Lowry. Look, yeah, he was hurt at the beginning of training camp, but Dean Lowry signed with the Steelers. He could have went anywhere. He literally could have went anywhere and been in the same role. He's going to play a role on the Steelers this season. That's going to happen. I like what he's done. Once he got out there and was able to play, he was coming off a little bit of a shoulder injury. He got out there, able to do his stuff. He is going to help. Look, the D-line is now a strength, people. It is. I know that a lot of people thought that it was going to be a weakness coming into the season. I thought it was going to be a weakness coming into the season. But from what we've seen from OTAs through training camp, it looks like the defensive line is a different beast. It looks like they are a different beast, something that we may be able to count on. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Let's go to the poll question, people. Let's pull it up here. Would you be comfortable going into next season without Cam and with the lineman currently on the roster? A, answer is yes to, or B, no to. My thing about that is, even though I would be okay with the guys that we have on the roster, I think we need some new blood. I think the Steelers, I've said it, they got to take a defensive lineman with the first pick next year. No matter where they pick, I think a defensive lineman's got to be the first guy. I know people are going to say wide receiver. Man, you know how many wide receivers are going to be out there? We can get one in the second round wherever we pick, or free agency, whatever the case may be. I think defensive line has to be the pick in the first round. So while I like the guys on the roster, I would still like to say, you know what? We got to get better guys here and younger. Get a little bit younger on the defensive line. I think that would be okay. So my thing would be, I like the roster, but no, I wouldn't be comfortable next year. Let's upgrade.